From a 509 area code. Also, Cole James
Hey,
Cash.
is this Sam, Peter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, this is Ronald Raygun.
Oh, Ronald Raygun. How are you?
Good. I wanted to get your thoughts on the specific ways in which you think the Democrats are going to fuck up the hearing tomorrow. Like how specifically will it implode?
I think there is a very good chance that the Democrats will drop the ball on this.
What?
Because all they need to do is say, can you read page 2, paragraph 3 of the report? We've handed you a copy of that. Could you read it for us? That would be what I would do. And then I would say,
I think
I would, the way I would ask questions is, I would specifically say, if Donald Trump wasn't president, would you have indicted him as a, for perjury? If Donald Trump, if collusion, if there was a legal definition of collusion that said, if I know you want me to do this thing and I do it, and then you go ahead and do something else because I did that, and then I do something else that you want me to do and I know you want me to do it, and then you do something because you know I want you to do it. Could you charge, if that was the legal definition of collusion, would you charge for that? Like, those are the questions I would ask, and then I would just ask him to read the report. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they've prepared for this because there's a lot of stakes on it.
I think at least 5 members will spend 4.5 of their 5 minutes telling him what a patriot he is. And then, by the way, clip this. This guy come true. This is a prediction time. This is like ESPN. And then another 5 or 6 members will rehash the same question needlessly for no reason, and then also call him a patriot. And then the Republicans are going to talk about emails, and then it's just going to sort of like poof into the ether. But I want to last question. I'll let you go. I want to see I feel like the ball has really been dropped on this whole thing, that the report is actually quite important. And there's a 2-week window where Barr was like, this is nothing. And then everyone was like, okay.
Yep.
And I first of all, I think people deserve some criticism for that. But people who went on their sort of like in-zone dance tours, but before we even knew what the report said. But I'm wondering, like, are the Democrats capable of Benghaziing anything without Fox News? It seems like Fox News is a necessary element of that. I'll take your answer off the air. Thanks.
Okay. I think your guess about them praising Mueller as opposed to asking questions is probably spot on. And that's going to be effing annoying if we have to watch 3 hours of that tomorrow. It's going to be super annoying. But I listen. That would involve such a high level of incompetence, because the question at this point is not, is this a credible witness? It's, what does the witness have to say?
They're Democrats. So.
I understand. Do I think it's possible to do a Benghazi without a Fox News? I don't think you can do a Benghazi, but here's the thing. You don't have to do a Benghazi because there was nothing to Benghazi. Or to the extent there was, it wasn't even nearly close to it. The question is, it's not even just that you don't have to do a Benghazi. There's no way for the left to do what the right does. There's no way for even the center left to do what the center right does. We're dealing with different structures. The only thing I can tell you to give an analogy of this is that Air America was radio. Rush Limbaugh's radio. We talking to the mic the same? We may even present narratives, just counter narratives and narratives in the same way. We may tell stories in the same way. The medium may be the same. The actual content may be more or less the same, just sort of mirror images of itself. Maybe one is more truthful than the other, whatever. It doesn't quite matter. There's differences in terms of what's going to appeal to what audience, without a doubt. But the audience was different. And so the business became different. So that when we hired people who worked in right-wing radio, they couldn't monetize left-wing radio because there was fundamentally a different audience. And so the question isn't, can we do Benghazi? It's, can the Democrats do a version of Benghazi and or their version of Benghazi? And yes, of course, it's capable. They're capable of doing it without Fox. If they would maintain a narrative, if they had a plan, because it doesn't even appear to be a plan, except for to ignore this stuff. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's not even a question of ability. There's no will here. There is a fear of being tagged, I guess, like the Republicans for Benghazi, because that worked out so poorly for them, except for the part where it probably helped Donald Trump win the election.
Except for the part where we win.
Exactly. Honestly.
Yeah. The New York Times editorial board was super disappointed in us. I think that's another problem.
Nobody punished the Republicans for Benghazi in 2016. I would wager there was not a single human being of the, what was it, 100 million people or so that voted in 2018 who even contemplated the word Benghazi when they cast their vote. I would wager not a single human being did that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's I'm sure it's not quite as bad now. But again, going back to reading about the 2000 election in Florida and that nightmare, which we're still living out, the fact that on one hand, you had Joe Lieberman obviously playing to the right and undermining the whole effort because of his own personal ambitions. But even Gore and people around him, like the Bush campaign is literally sending paid operatives to physically disrupt recounts.
Brooks
the
Brothers
Gore
riot,
people,
right?
Yeah, the Brooks Brothers riot. And the Gore people are...
Was it Daily that said, like, black people get disenfranchised votes all the time, so you should just not try and win?
I mean, honestly.
What's the logic behind that?
Well, and part of it from what I've been reading has really to do with like... they don't like us. Like the editorial pages of the Washington Post and the New York Times saying that they're being uncivil or disruptive.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with elite brand perception than actually winning that battle.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's the iron law of institutions, right? Don't want to lose your authority in institution, even if it comes at the cost of the power of that institution.